Greeks have contributed a lot to science, mathematics, drama, sports, politics, philosophy, and much more. Still, there was another side of the Greeks that was pretty unusual. Cheaters have been punished in different ways in different cultures. To the ancient Greeks, adultery was one of the worst crimes you could commit, and it was followed by a painful punishment as Greek chicks were just really revengeful. In the worst cases, male cheaters were compelled to insert a radish root in their anus, which could cause death from internal bleeding. Ouch! Other times they would be tied to a donkey completely naked, being exposed and humiliated, but either way, they surely had to pay. Were you accused of being a criminal in the ancient Greece? Don't worry, nobody's going to lay a finger on you. You just have to enjoy a good hemlock tea. Hemlock is a poisonous plant boiled down into a tea that can kill you within minutes, but that won't stop the Greeks from forcing you into having a drink if you're considering being a criminal. A great example is Socrates, who was charged for messing with the minds of Athens' youth, and even though he could escape, he confidently faced his end by drinking hemlock tea. Yet of course, dying made him more popular and famous. Apparently death did not scare him, it only excited him that he will finally get his answers. Keeping up with birth control pills is an added stress for women these days. These pills enable women to enjoy the pleasures of sex without any major setbacks in life and career. But if you wonder, how did women tackle pregnancy before the invention of these pills? Well, in ancient Greece, physicians used to believe that if women sneeze while squatting, they can actually lose the semen in the form of snot. Greeks are known for a lot of good to the contribution to science. This, however, is not one of them. In ancient Greece, folks used to think that people do not end once they die. In fact, they were so adamant on believing that the dead often come out of their graves and eat the brains of innocent prey. To avoid such encounters, they would place heavy objects on top of the grave to prevent the dead from rising. We are afraid of the living and we are afraid of the dead. This proves that overall, human beings are a paranoid species. The Greeks were not only progressive in science, they also knew how to handle the harsh realities of life. Have you seen a spiked collar on a dog? To us, maybe it does not serve any purpose other than making our dog look badass, but the Greeks invented the spiked collar as a protection for their dogs from other predators. If a wolf attacks, the collar would be sharp enough for it to do some serious damage. What is considered to be an ugly deformity in modern times, unibrows, were used to be known as a sign of intelligence and beauty in ancient Greece. A unibrow was desired by so many that women used to create a fake connection of the two eyebrows using goat's hair attached with tree resin. And the lucky ones born with a unibrow were darkened it up with black powder. Strange times. The athletes of the Olympics in ancient Greece were known to have medicinal properties. Wait, hear me out first. The athletes were rubbed in olive oil before they would work out. Afterwards, the sweat and the grease created with oil and dirt was scraped off their bodies and stored in jars. This grease was used as medicine for muscle ache. Obviously, they were not magically healing creatures, just the olive oil was beneficial. Only if they knew before they were ingesting an athlete's grease. Times were surely easier for bachelors back in ancient Greece. When someone found a person attractive, they did not need to come up with a cheesy pickup line and impress a girl who has seen it all in one night at a bar. They would just throw an apple at the person they like. It all started from the ancient Greek myth where the single goddess Eris threw an apple to a party of people and the goddess of love Aphrodite was among them. She later used it to connect Helen of Troy with Paris of Troy. Disclaimer: try this at your risk. You might get charged with assault. Do you know that the soft and fragrant toilet paper you use today was not always available? Ever wondered how the ancient Greeks cleaned their tush? Well, the rich used to own a stick with a sponge at the bottom to do it, while the rest of the people would use round stones. These stones, although unhygienic, were soft to the touch, but still pretty rough for today's standards. The prostitution industry saw its glorious days in ancient Greece. It was legal if the prostitutes paid taxes of their services. Many local prostitutes used their own methods of publicity to attract men and women. Some would attract new clients by wearing sandals that left a mark on the ground saying "Akoye Oyoye," which translates to "follow me." Men and women would follow the message on the ground and seek that hooker. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.